What if Godzilla was real? A scary thought. Imagine this. You're sipping your evening coffee, looking out over the city lights, when suddenly your mug starts shaking. You hear distant car alarms blaring, dogs barking, and then a roar that sends chills down your spine. A colossal shadow moves across the skyscrapers, and the ground trembles with each thunderous step. What's happening? Is it an earthquake? A storm? Nope. It's something much, much bigger. What if Godzilla was real? Hey folks. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most thrilling, what-if, scenarios ever. We'll explore how the legend of Godzilla could play out in the real world, the science behind it, and what it would mean for us. Buckle up, it's gonna be a wild ride. The legend of Godzilla. First off, let's rewind a bit. Godzilla isn't just some random giant lizard. He made his grand debut in 1954, thanks to Japan's Toho Studios. Back then, Godzilla was more than a monster, he was a symbol. A terrifying embodiment of nuclear devastation post-World War II. Heavy stuff, right? Over the years, he's evolved from a city-stomping villain to a sort of anti-hero, sometimes even saving humanity from worse threats. Talk about character development. But what makes Godzilla, well, Godzilla? Let's break it down. Size-wise, he's a whopping 100 meters tall. That's taller than most skyscrapers. He weighs around 90,000 tons. Imagine the world's heaviest animals multiplied many times over. His abilities? Oh boy. Atomic breath that can level cities, regenerative healing that makes Wolverine jealous, and strength that defies logic. And let's not forget, he's not just a mindless beast. There's a certain intelligence and instinct that makes him all the more formidable. The science behind a real Godzilla. Alright, time to put on our geek glasses and get scientific. Could a creature like Godzilla actually exist? According to the square cube law, as a creature grows in size, its volume increases faster than its surface area. Translation? A real Godzilla would collapse under his own weight. His bones would need to be insanely dense, and his muscles super-powered just to move. His heart would have to pump blood over 100 meters up. That's like trying to get water to the top of a skyscraper without a pump. Now, think about the calories he'd need. The blue whale, the largest animal we know, consumes up to 16,000 pounds of krill per day. Godzilla would need way more. Could radiation be his energy source? It's a stretch, but some microbes do metabolize radiation. Maybe Godzilla's onto something. Speaking of radiation, how could he possibly shoot atomic breath? Well, certain bacteria resist radiation, but emitting it as a weapon? That's pure sci-fi. But hey, we're imagining here. Where would a creature like this hide? The ocean is vast and deep. We've explored less of the ocean floor than the surface of the moon. Deep-sea gigantism is a thing, with creatures like the giant squid lurking in the depths. So, maybe Godzilla's been chilling down there all along. Environmental impact. Now, let's say Godzilla pops up. What's the immediate damage? Buildings? Flattened. Infrastructure? Crushed. Bridges, roads, power lines, all gone in seconds. His footsteps alone would cause seismic activity. Imagine the earthquakes and aftershocks. Fires would break out everywhere from the destruction, and if he unleashes his atomic breath, say goodbye to city blocks. Entering or exiting the ocean would trigger massive tsunamis, flooding coastal areas. Air quality would plummet with dust, debris, and smoke filling the skies. Long-term radiation zones could make places uninhabitable for years. Not cool. Ecosystems would be thrown out of whack. Wildlife displaced or wiped out. Food chains disrupted. It could even trigger volcanic activity or mess with tectonic plates. The planet would take a serious hit. Human response and defense. So, how would we respond? Time to call in the cavalry. You bet the military would be all over this. Tanks, jets, missiles, all aimed at Godzilla. But let's be real, conventional weapons probably wouldn't do much more than annoy him. Tanks would be like toys, and jets might feel like pesky mosquitoes. Would we consider nukes? That's a risky move, considering the fallout and that radiation might just make him stronger. Scientists would scramble to find weaknesses. Perhaps developing specialized weapons like in the movies, maser cannons, anyone? Drones would be crucial for gathering intel without risking lives. This isn't just one country's problem. Nations worldwide would need to collaborate, sharing resources and strategies. Though, getting everyone on the same page could be a challenge. Societal impact. Godzilla's not just a physical threat. He'd shake up society big time. Imagine trying to evacuate entire cities. Highways clogged, public transport overwhelmed, and people panicking. Setting up shelters, providing food and medical care, it's a logistical nightmare. Major financial centers destroyed would send global markets into a tailspin. The cost of rebuilding would be astronomical. Insurance companies might go bankrupt. Survivors would face trauma. Mental health crises would surge. The collective psyche would shift, fear and uncertainty becoming the new normal. Governments might enforce emergency powers, leading to civil liberties debates. International tensions could rise if countries disagree on handling the situation. It's a political powder keg. Long-term consequences. Assuming we survive the initial chaos, what's next? Cleaning up radiation and pollutants would be a massive undertaking. We'd need to restore habitats, maybe even make new conservation areas. Monitoring for future threats would become a priority. Rebuilding cities with stronger, monster-resistant structures could be the new trend in architecture. Economic policies would need to adapt to stimulate regrowth. All that research might lead to new tech benefits for civilians. Medical discoveries from studying Godzilla could revolutionize healthcare. Plus, better disaster preparedness systems would emerge. Godzilla would become more than a legend, a true part of human history. Art, music, literature, all influenced by this event. We'd see philosophy and ethics debates about our place in the world. Is coexistence possible? Could we actually live alongside Godzilla? Maybe he's not out to destroy us intentionally. Scientists might attempt to communicate or study his behavior. Is he intelligent? Does he have motives? Designing cities to minimize potential conflicts. Perhaps creating protected zones or avoiding certain areas. Kind of like living with natural disasters, we'd adapt. It might be the wake-up call we need to take better care of our planet. Focusing on environmental conservation, rethinking our use of nuclear technology, and uniting globally against common challenges. The symbolism of a real Godzilla. Let's get a bit philosophical here. Godzilla could symbolize the unintended consequences of rapid scientific progress. Just because we can do something doesn't always mean we should. Maybe he's nature's way of telling us to slow down, to respect the planet. An embodiment of environmental neglect coming back to bite us, literally. We'd need to consider our responsibilities to future generations. Balancing innovation with caution. It's a delicate dance. So there you have it. A deep dive into what might happen if Godzilla stepped out of the silver screen and into our world. From immediate destruction to long-term societal changes, it's clear that his existence would rock our world in more ways than one. The existence of Godzilla would undoubtedly change our world forever. It's both a terrifying and fascinating idea. But maybe, just maybe, by contemplating such an unimaginable scenario, we can find inspiration to tackle the very real challenges we face today. After all, if we can come together in the face of a 100-meter-tall radioactive lizard, surely we can unite to solve climate change, global pandemics, and other pressing issues. So next time you watch a Godzilla movie, think about the deeper messages beneath those giant footprints. Let's reflect on our role on this beautiful planet we call home. What do you think? Could humanity handle a real-life Godzilla? Or would we be toast? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this wild thought experiment, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-bending, what-if, scenarios. Got a suggestion for our next video? Let us know. Thanks for sticking around till the end. You guys are the real MVPs. Stay curious, stay awesome, and until next time, keep exploring the unimaginable.